That means that we punched our ticket to go try to win the Super Bowl, and that's it. We got one game at a time, starting at 1 o'clock on Sunday. Love y'all, boys. Love you. Love you. I'll go to war with every single one of you, every game, all right? Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Win.
Yeah. Please tell me that I can't, that I won't, that I fail, that I'll never make it out, yeah. Please tell me all the bad, never good, fill my head full of every single doubt, yeah. Please say any negative thoughts, I pop off when I hear people say I cannot. I get off to the thought of proving everyone wrong, I won't stop to the top, so you better back off and get lost. I'ma stay loud, stay proud, never running out, never heading south. I'll be spreading out, call it word of mouth, can't put me down, I'll be getting loud. You can have me douse, not what I'm about, have your fucking cloud. It be raining now, I keep making sound, go another round, bitch I'm legend bound, can't stop me now. You don't wanna fuck with me, a slow burn like a disease. Just tell me that I can and I'll show you things that you couldn't believe. Just tell me that I can. 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 It's showtime.
Welcome to Monday Night Uncensored, Bills Mafia Edition. I'm your host, Tommy, to the highest degree, to the TOP, from the 313, and it's just me. It's just me tonight. Tommy is solo. Listen, man, I'm used to going solo anyway, so no problem. Mikey's internet is down tonight. Unfortunately, you guys got to ride with me tonight on the solo tip. I do got some. Let's get to the chat real quick because I do got some messages real quick coming in here. Let's see here. We got Scott Blakely, my dude, coming in saying blah blah blah. Just win a effing Super Bowl.
Oh, excuse me.
Oh, Scott, should I hit you with that again?
Oh, excuse me.
Glad to have you on, Scott, man. Let's get to somebody else in here. Bills Mafia Hitman. Well, howdy, y'all. Howdy, y'all. Let's see here. Keys in the building. What up, Keys? If y'all missed it, them boys went live at 5:30. Good show. I actually caught the tail end about the last 30 minutes, but I'll be catching up to them later on because they always bring some good stuff to the table, man. I actually had a 2-hour conversation today with Aramis on the phone. It was like we were having our own personal podcast going back and forth. I guess I don't even know if you call it a debate, just more of a just wanting to understand his thinking about certain things and let him know my thinking about certain ways I look at things, right? Like just in general. So thought it was a really good conversation we had. Ended well. That's my dude. Both him and Keys, man. We may not agree on everything, but I wouldn't say we're far apart either. And they're good dudes, man. So check them out if you haven't already checked them out. What'd it be like, Tommy? Yeah, I'm solo. That's what it's like, man. What up, Robert? How you doing? Good evening, Mikey and Tommy. I'll let Mikey know. You send your regards. Let's see here. Augustine in the house. Let's go. Let's do it. I roll up often. What up? What up? And we already heard from Scott. We already gave Scott the, well, excuse me. Okay, so this intro just got me hyped the fuck up. What up, Cole Front, man? How you doing, man? If you haven't already, go ahead and check out his YouTube page, man. Growing YouTube channel. Buffalo Bills, obviously, content. Good stuff over there. He's actually live today, earlier in the day. And I was on there for, I don't know, about 40 minutes checking him out. So good stuff over there. Go help him, as far as, subscribing. The dude is putting in the work, man. Sandra, what up, Tommy? What up, Sandra? It's not breaking my car speakers for once. No, it was a little bit. You gotta turn it down a little bit, man. For me, I like it all the way up. Turn that motherfucker up, man. I am a I am a music junkie. I got 215s in the car. Yes, I am an old man at 47, soon to be 48, still bumping in my Dodge Magnum. 215s, man. I got a hell of a sound system, man. I put in years ago. Probably a little over $2,000 I spent on it. You know, it's not like I want to take it to a sound show or anything like that, but it's pretty fucking loud, and I still bump it, man, when I be driving, man. But music is great, man. So yeah, my intro, trust me, I be bumping that song, no problems. Aramis loves Beane. Aramis and Keys, they don't shy away from their hate towards Brandon Beane, and I don't shy away for, I don't know about my love, but for my belief in Brandon Beane. Listen, I am the president of Believe in Beane Island. You guys know this, right? So obviously, I root for Brandon Beane. I think he's a good GM, and I think he can still make this a possibility where the Buffalo Bills win a Super Bowl while he is the GM. But we shall see. I got a bet going on with Aramis, actually, that if Brandon Beane, if the Buffalo Bills win a Super Bowl in the next 2 years under Brandon Beane as GM, Aramis will come on this channel and he will basically say he was in the wrong when it comes to Brandon Beane, and Brandon Beane actually did a great job, and the Buffalo Bills got over that wall, or over that hump, and finally got a Super Bowl in Buffalo. So that is our bet. If you want to know the bet, that is the bet. Today wasn't a rain cloud show. Go figure. If y'all don't know, my dude Keys be working over there at the Buffalo airport. I don't know if you guys are ever at the Buffalo airport and see my big dog Keys over there, man. Give him a go Bills, man. Give Keys a go Bills. But the dude is a hard worker, so don't go up there and expect to be talking Buffalo Bills, because he'll probably just keep on walking. But give him a go Bills, man. I'm sure he'll appreciate that. Weston, you must know my co-host. He certainly does. Weston goes in your guys' chat all the time, man. He be always mentioning Beane Island, man. And I know you guys skip right past that. You're like, Beane Island. Fuck that Beane Island. Let's see here. Augustine, 4 straight in a row. And nothing like what the fuck. And now Josh cooking MVP. And now wow. Yeah, look, man. We're gonna get a Super Bowl here, guys, man. We got it. I still have confidence in this team, primarily because obviously we have one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL on our team, right? Which obviously makes a huge difference when it comes to teams' opportunity or teams' chances of reaching and winning a Super Bowl. And I would say because of that, obviously we are on that list year in, year out of teams that could make it to a Super Bowl because of that situation, that good situation we're in, where we have an elite quarterback in Josh Allen, right? So that always helps, right? And it's just about building around Josh because it is the ultimate team sport, right? And when it comes to the NFL, everything has to go right in order to win a Super Bowl. I saw somebody comment, I'm not going to mention his name, but I saw somebody comment in Post Podium podcast, and he was talking about, put this player, and he was talking about Christian Benford, put, top 10 defense. Is he a top 10? Would he start on a top 10 defense? You're talking about Christian Benford, and then you think you brought up like on these elite teams. Okay, look, at the end of the day, guys, there's only one elite team. Take the S out of that. There's one each year. Who is that? That's the Super Bowl winner. I don't want to hear anything about anything else about any of the other team, right? The 31 other teams, I don't give a shit about elite, great, good, right? It's about winning a Super Bowl. The winner of the Super Bowl for that year is the elite team. And they're the elite team going into the next season because they are the defending Super Bowl champions, right? That's what I consider elite. I don't consider anyone else elite. It's the winner of the Super Bowl. There's only one. So let's take that and push that to the side, because I don't care about what other teams are doing, because guess what? If they're not winning Super Bowls, I don't give a shit what they're doing. They could have the best draft. They could have the best free agents sign with them. Oh, do the greatest trades on paper. They look unbelievable. They're the team to beat. And then you go into the season and they don't even make the playoffs, or they make the playoffs and they get bounced early, right? Or they just don't win a Super Bowl, period. It happens every year, guys. Every year. We hear this team is favored to win the Super Bowl. They don't even win the Super Bowl. They don't even go to the Super Bowl. So I'm not going to – there's no elites. There is one. So let's put that to rest. 40 Key Cold Front, what's the name of your pod again? Cold Front. It's Cold Front. Check him out, man. He's a good dude, man. Let's see here. 40 Keys. Nah, it's Knox. But I can't afford to replace the ones I have in my truck. Okay, all right. Keys just don't want to blow out his speakers. I get it. Let's see here, Austin. You young buddy, you have a whole life ahead. These are the best years. Keep on trucking with your Miami base. Yeah, y'all know I'm from South Florida, right? So I grew up, on booty music. Right. So I started listening to music in probably, when I was like really diving into music. Now, my mom would play LPs, right, while she was cleaning the house. And that's why I have love for classic rock, because she was into classic rock. But when I really got into music, I would say mid 80s. And I remember I had my mom's boyfriend at the time bought me a boombox. I mean, huge. It was like 15 double D batteries. I don't remember the name, which box it was. Was it a Yamaha? I don't remember. Was it a Yamaha? No, it can't be. Anyways, it was yellow, but this thing was like gigantic. And I would take this thing everywhere I went on my bicycle. And it had like a strap. I'd strap it around my arm. And dude, this thing was great. But of course, batteries back then. Now you can go to Dollar Tree and buy double D batteries pretty cheap. But back then there was no Dollar Tree double D batteries. So that was rough life for me, man. But somehow I made it through. My mom would figure it out and get me those batteries I needed. But yeah, man, I get what you're saying. I'll still listen. I'll be listening to music and bumping my system till the day I die, man. Let's see here. Don't really have a name to the podcast. It's just Cold Front Buffalo. There you go. Hey, you have a name, okay? Don't do that to yourself. Don't do that. You're a Cold Front Buffalo. That is the name of your damn podcast, and it's a good one. All right? Scott, Beane Island, beautiful weather, sunny and blue skies. Yeah, it is. It's sunny, blue skies. We're having fun. The people that aren't having fun, that are not on Believe in Beane Island, they're over there. They're complaining. They're bitching. Nothing is ever good. It's not good enough, right? The Bills they suck. Everybody sucks on the Bills. Boo. We're over here going, hey, look, man, we're having a good time. We're gearing up for 2026. We believe in this team. We believe in Brandon Beane, right? We believe in Josh Allen. We like our free agents so far, our signings. The draft is still yet, not here yet, still yet to come, but we're liking what we're seeing. It's okay. We're having a good time. We're partying. Now, could that party come to an end at the end of the 2026 season if we don't make it to the Super Bowl? Of course it can, right? That's a reality that we would have to live in at that time. But right now, I'm feeling good. I'm feeling good about our chances, and I'm liking what I'm seeing so far in this offseason. It's not over, right? Let's not judge it yet, right? Like it's a little too early to go. Where are we judging this offseason to date? Now, I know I did a poll earlier or last week and I guess I should have put way too early off-season grade, but I would say if it, as of now, a B. I mean, honestly, I don't see where many people can give it less than a B, right? Like I don't hate any of the players that came here, right? I think they all can provide something to this team, and we got them on reasonable contracts. Like there's nothing here, nothing we've done up to this point where I'm like, way overpaid. Like last year, I wasn't thrilled about the free agent signings, right? And like the Joey Bosa signing, 1 year, $12 million. Like, what's that going to do? He's here and gone. We're paying $12 million. And not only that, looking at his production, right? And I'm big into production. What have you done lately, right? Like, when healthy, what's your production at, right? Forget the injuries, all that shit. Throw that shit out the door. I'm talking about when you're healthy, what has your production been like? Joey Bosa's numbers were not good, even when healthy for a while. And I'm like, I'm not crazy about that signing. Right? The Palmer signing, I hated from the get, right? I'm like, this is another Curtis Samuel signing. Here we go. We're stuck on another contract. And it's not a guy that really had a big body of work, right? He was their, third option in LA? Josh Reed for the Buffalo Bills back in the day put up the same numbers. You weren't going to pay Josh Reed that kind of money. So I didn't understand that, and once again, I'll knock Brandon Beane when needed, and let you guys know when I don't feel like he's done a good enough job or a move that he made that I didn't like. I'll let you know. Of course I will. I'm honest. I'm honest. I'm being honest, right? It doesn't mean I'm right about it. Now somebody might say, "Hey, I like that signing," and that's okay. We agree to disagree. Sometimes we'll get to that point, but that's my feeling on it. Keys, we let Beane live today. Oh, you guys are nice about Beane. It's very kind of you. Very kind of you. Keys, Scott, you are pushing it, sir. I'll let Beane have a floaty in a lazy river somewhere. Yeah, you would. You would just let him float away from the Bills. Oh, my God. You guys are a trip. I'm not going to get behind in this chat tonight. Y'all ain't going to, you ain't going to do it to me tonight. All right? You're not going to set me back an hour to the chat. All right? I'm not doing it. Listen, I know your games. And your guys in the chat, you guys think you're slick, right? You guys think you're slick. You get me behind, and then you start poking fun of me. It's not happening. Anyone who recognizes me, say howdy. I'll talk back. Look at that. Look, see, Keys is gonna talk. So yeah, y'all see Keys at the airport, Buffalo Airport. Listen, he's the guy that is 7 foot tall. You're not gonna miss him, right? So say what's up to my dude Keys at the airport, man. Oh my God, Badass is in the building, and he wants you to know that Bagula sucks as an owner.
Oh, excuse me.
Oh, what up, Badass? How you doing, brother? Beane Island is the old fantasy island. Whatever. Actually, it's not. It's a nice island. We got a lot going on over there. Yeah, whoever could that be, Weston? We know. Let's see here. I love you guys, man. You guys make the podcast go by so fast. And I don't even get, guys, by the way, when you guys are going like this, rolling like this, I do have stuff to talk about, and sometimes I don't even get to that shit because I'm just kind of going over everybody's chat. Agree with only one elite team each year. You don't win the Super Bowl. You are just second place loser. Thank you. Thank you. Badass. I appreciate you agreeing with me. We don't always agree, but I'm glad that you see it the way I see it when it comes to being elite. All right? There's only one. That's it. Champion, right? And they are the elite team, okay, at the end of the day. Everybody else, it didn't mean anything, right? The season is a wash, to be honest with you. Even if you made it to a Super Bowl, right? Like the New England Patriots did, I'm sure their fans are like, hey, yeah, we got year 2 with Drake May and year 1 with, with the new, with Vrabel as the new, so what? Who cares? Who gives a shit? You're not having a parade down your street celebrating Drake May's second year going to the Super Bowl. Nobody gives a shit. If you won, sure, of course, right? But that's not how it works, folks. It's just not how it works. So I don't want to hear that bullshit about elite. They're the elite teams in the NFL. No. There's one. Okay, let's keep it a buck. Wes, the front offices win championship, coaches win games. I could somewhat agree with that, but not totally, right? Like, and I'm kind of glad you brought that up. So when I talked to Aramis today, and that was one of the things kind of we discussed, not this particular subject, but about coaches and front offices, GMs, whatever. When I evaluate a player, right, same as a coach and same as a GM, you can't just, for me, now look, this is how I see it. Everybody sees shit differently, but you can't just go by stats and data. Like, those matter, and I'm not saying they don't, but there's more to it. There's always more to it, right? When we talk about, when you say, for instance, front offices win championships, coaches win games, okay, but did the front office bring the right players, and maybe the coaching staff, didn't do their job with these players? Just saying. Or, did the coach do as best as he could with the players that brung in, and they just weren't good at it? Like, there's always more to it than just, making it that simple, right? Like, there's always more to the picture is what I'm trying to say. Like, so when we get into this DJ Moore talk, right? And that's kind of been a thing since we got him. And I think Bills Mafia split right now on DJ Moore. I think it's a lot of them. There's a lot of Bills Mafia. It's kind of a wait and see before they kind of say or get behind the trade, right? And then there's some that just absolutely hate it. That think he's no good. There's some that, like me, that love the trade and that thinks DJ Moore is a quality good one that can actually provide something that we haven't had over the last 2 seasons. That was needed. When I look at DJ Moore's career, let me take that back. When I look at anyone's career and I judge or not judge, when I talk about a player, right? When I'm breaking down a player, right? And going, okay, evaluate. When I evaluate a player, I'm evaluating everything. It's not about stats. It's not about, that's coming to play, but it's not strictly about stats and data and all that. It's also about where did this player, what team was he on? How many coaches did he have? How many offensive coordinators came through? How many quarterbacks did he play with? Right? All of this matters in a player's development, in his career, and what he's done, right? And the reason why I say that is because we've seen players go somewhere, fail in one system, and excel in another. Leave, go to another place, and actually play better, right? So was it the player or was it the system, right? We've seen rookies drafted by a team and look bad for the first 2-3 years, get cut or get traded, and go on to be a better version of themselves in a new system with a new scheme. So I can't just strictly go, you know what, golly, the data says this guy this blows. He sucks. right? Like, one, on some of these guys too early, right? And then on the other case, there's guys like DJ Moore who have shown you that what he could do throughout his career with multiple, matter of fact, 10 different starting quarterbacks. See, some people don't even know that, right? Some people they don't take the time to look, right? They don't feel like it's important. It is important. It's absolutely important. When I talk about Eric Moulds, for instance, my favorite Buffalo Bills player of all time, I feel like he could have been a Hall of Fame player if he had a quarterback that he played with throughout his entire career, pretty much or all of it, right? He didn't have the luxury of having Jim Kelly throw to him for 10 seasons. He had 7 different starting quarterbacks. He had, I believe, 3 different head coaches, different OCs, right? He didn't have that luxury, right? Go around and look at some of the best all-time greatest receivers. What do they have? They had a consistent thing going on. They were with the team long-term. They had a quarterback that was there long-term, right? And when I look at DJ Moore never had that luxury, right? Just didn't have it. So how many quarterbacks did he have? 10. And I'll name them. Cam Newton. By the way, older version of Cam. Kyle Allen. Taylor Heineke. Teddy Bridgewater. Sam Darnold. PJ Walker. Baker Mayfield. Justin Fields. Tyson Bagent. And Caleb Williams. That's a ton of quarterbacks, guys, right? When we talk about receivers coming to a new team, right? What do we usually talk about? Chemistry, right? Can they build that chemistry, right? Because you could be damn good, and your quarterback and receiver, they may not have that instant chemistry right away, right? Sometimes it takes a little time. How can you build chemistry when you cycle through a quarterback every season? Now you got a new guy. Now you got a new guy. Now you got a new guy. Now you got this guy. He throws this way. He's a left-handed quarterback. He's a right-handed quarterback, right? He throws this type of way, right? He's better at, he's not a great deep ball thrower. There's a lot to it, right? Then you got different OCs. Well, we got, I like to throw to my tight ends more. I like to go to my running backs a little bit more, right? I like to run the ball more. Like, there's all different schemes, right? Then your head coach, he has a different vision. So all that plays a part of this. Now, when we talk about DJ Moore, once again, I go back. I look at his career. Right? When we look at DJ Moore's career, right? So when we go through his stats, right? With all these 10 different quarterbacks, okay? 2018, 788. 2019, 1175. 2020, 1193. 2021, 1157. 2022, 888. 2023, 1364. 2024, 966. 2025, 682 was his worst year, right? Receiving wise. But he has been a consistently good receiver throughout his career. If you stack his numbers up, he's been consistent, right? And I don't want to just harp on one particular stat. Oh, success rate. It's been low over the last 3 of the 4 seasons. Okay. But why? Why has it been low? Why? Is there a reason behind that? Or is it just he's fallen off that bad that now he can't separate? Success rate's not good enough? I don't believe that. His career wouldn't tell you that. Right? And once again, I go back to, the quarterbacks, 10. I go back to the coaches. You want me to list the amount of coaches that he's went through? It's amazing. Once again, okay, here we go. Ron Rivera, Perry Fuel, Matt Rule, Steve Wilkes, Matt Eberflus, and then obviously his current, his last coach, and Ben Johnson. 6 head coaches. 2 interim, right? 2 of them interim. 2 of them, right? Offensive coordinators. You know how many he went through? Norv Turner, Scott Turner, Joe Brady, Jeff Nixon, Ben McAdoo, Luke Getsy, Shane Waldron. Guys, that's 7. 7 OCs. 5 head coaches. 10 different quarterbacks. and you're going to say this guy hasn't proven that he's a quality one. With all that being said, we're going to focus on one category that hasn't been great over the last 3-4 years. I'm not going to do that. That's unfair to the player, right? And that's what I mean about we got to sometimes step back and look at the reasons why some of these players are excelling, doing, why, right? Or why are these players dipping in production, right? What's going on, right? Justin Jefferson had his worst season to date with the Minnesota Vikings. Why? Could it be J.J. McCarthy? Is this not a very good quarterback? Wasn't giving him the best opportunities to be up there where he's normally at, around 14, 15, 1,600 yards a season? Or did Justin Jefferson just have a bad season? I don't think that. I don't believe that. Because I look at his consistency, what he's done since he's been in the league. It's been really consistent with when he's had good quarterback play, right? When he's had bad, which is really only 1 year with J.J. McCarthy, what happened? The numbers declined big time, massively. Also, when we talk about players and scheme, we look at players, let's just say players that have been here before. Poona Ford, Tim Settle. They didn't look so hot while they're here. Poona Ford couldn't even get a jersey. Leaves, he's like, oh, a Pro Bowler. He just got paid. Tim Settle, another guy who's flourished since he's left the Buffalo Bills because of the scheme didn't work for them. And sometimes that's the same way for offense. And that's all I'm saying with that. Like, when I evaluate players, when I evaluate coaches, I try to step back and look at the big picture and go, okay, why is this? Why did he fail? Why is he failing? Why is he succeeding? Right? I mean, can we sit back and say, okay, why is Sean McDermott a winning head coach while he was here in Buffalo? Could we say Josh Allen played a big part of that? Probably, right? I would think so. Because no Josh Allen, let's say we're going through the quarterback carousel that we did for 17 years before Josh Allen got here, right? That would tell you probably that things wouldn't have ended up so hot, so good with Sean McDermott if we didn't get a quarterback in place like a Josh Allen. For me, that's how I see it. Now, there's other reasons, right? Like, I'm not saying he was a bad coach, but I feel like that also played a major factor in McDermott's success as well, right? You're just not going to look back and look at McDermott's record and be like, oh, damn, winning. Look at how many wins he got here in Buffalo. Like, why? How did he get all those wins? Right? What played a major factor in that? Right? So I try to look at everything, right, for what it is, right? And I also look at the bad too, right? There's bad. When I talk about Brandon Beane, I never said the guy was perfect. I never said every single move Brandon Beane's ever done in Buffalo has been grade A, solid, perfect, the best GM in the NFL, hands down. I never said that. Never said that. I believe he's up there. I believe he's top 5. Y'all can say what you want. Not everyone's going to agree with me on that, but I believe he is. But yeah, let's get to some of your chat because I am falling behind. Say it with your chest. It's cold front. No say. There you go. Keys. A little late. But just read Austin Corbett came in for a visit today. He did. Good depth piece for O-line. Good solid career from him. Older, but wouldn't complain about it. Absolutely. And it may not cost us a lot either if we bring him in. Listen, getting O-line depth, there's nothing wrong with it. You need it, especially from a guy like this. As long as he can stay healthy, he would actually be a great addition for this team. And it'd probably be a 1-year deal. He's getting up there in age, but I did, look up, if you want to know, you guys want to know a little bit about him. 6'4", 305. He was drafted in the 2nd round by the Cleveland Browns. It didn't go well in Cleveland. He did struggle. They wound up trading him to the Rams, and that's where he actually did really, really well. And you see my point, right? Like, what did we just talk about? Or what did I just talk about? Sometimes when we evaluate players, we're not looking at, was it scheme? Was it, did they not, when he got drafted by the Browns, which, by the way, the Browns, the biggest shit show in the NFL, right? They're up there with the Jets and all the other teams, the Dolphins, that can't get it right. When you draft these players, right, it's up to the coaching staff, right, to get these players playing at a higher level, right? That's what they do. That's what off-season workouts for, OTAs and mini camp, right? You that's their job, right? It's to get these players ready for the regular season of the NFL, right? And I'm forgetting the word that I really want to use for these players. Player development, okay? It's up to them for player development on these rookies. A lot of these young guys. We've seen draft bust all the time. Go to a team, right, and just not work out. Wind up being a bust. Go somewhere else where they have proper coaching staff that could develop them into something that they saw in college initially. And I'm not saying it's for not every player works out that way, but there's been cases. And I'll name a few. Baker Mayfield, Sam Darnold, right? Sam Darnold, who just won a Super Bowl, who couldn't find himself a team. Why? Right? Started with some bad teams, right? Who were having coaching carousel, right? Like, right? Bad coaching staff. These coaches are fired, right? Like Cleveland Browns, once again, right? Like, come on, man. So this guy leaves, goes to the Rams, wins a Super Bowl as a starter, by the way, started for the Rams, became a full-time starter, started every game in 2020 and 2021. He won a Super Bowl. Then he went to the Carolina Panthers, signed a 3-year deal in 2022. He immediately became a starter. This is a guy that got drafted by the Browns who couldn't do anything there, and they traded him away. Now the guy's won a Super Bowl. He signed a 3-year deal with Carolina 2 years later, and is a starter right away. Right away. Now, here's the downfall a little bit about him. He's dealt with injuries, ACL, knee, biceps. But when healthy, once again, the guy has shown and proven that he could be reliable, right? He's also versatile. He can play guard and center. He can move around on the offensive line. It's a great player to have. That's why we re-signed Alec Anderson. So, once again, when we talk about players and we evaluate, you got to be careful when we just look at stats and data. Why? What else? There has to be more, right? When we talk about Keon Coleman, for instance, and I know a lot of you guys are like, fuck that guy, he's trash, he's done. But was he used right in this system? Did Joe Brady understand his strengths and weaknesses and use his strengths to an advantage for the offense? I don't believe he did. Right? Now, on the flip side of that, his maturity is not the best, and he needs to do better with that. If he doesn't, he'll never get better in the NFL. Of course not. You got to mature at some point, and that could be a case of why maybe also partially why Keon Coleman has not really done well so far since joining the Buffalo Bills, being drafted by the Buffalo Bills, right? And that's on him. But the other side of it, I feel, is on the coaching staff for not understanding what you have in a player, right? The best coaches get the best from their players. I've seen players leave and not play as good elsewhere. Go back to the same, wind up signing back with the same coach years later and being that guy again. Because that coach knew how to get the best out of him. He knew his strengths, and he knew how he could use them on offense or defense. I'm big into that, right? A lot of people don't ignore that. You can't ignore that. I'm predicting more realistic this year, Tommy. Can't do 20-0. Instead, I'm predicting 19-1. That one loss better not be in the Super Bowl, Scott Blakely. Because then it's all for naught, right? At the end of the day. Vader, what up, man? Go Bills, Beane Island. There you go. Have a good night. We'll watch later. All right, man. I appreciate you, bro. That's the man right there. Always supporting the channel. All you guys are, man. You guys are awesome, man. You're always filling up the chat. Appreciate y'all, man. I don't hate the Palmer signing. I just hated the contract. Sure. I guess I'm with that, right? It didn't fit. The contract didn't fit what the player did, in my opinion, in LA, right? So I'm with you on that. If it was a cheaper signing, right, I could have been behind it a little bit more. But the fact that we paid what we paid him, and the first year was a total nightmare when it comes to Palmer, it's looking like a really bad signing, right? And that's what I mean about the signing, right? I just didn't care for it because of the contract, the length of the contract. By the way, there's still an out if they cut him post-June. I believe they get 2.5 back in the cap is where I read. So I wouldn't necessarily say Palmer for sure will be on the roster in 2026. So once again, the offseason is not done yet. So let's not say these things are going to happen for sure when we don't know that. We have no idea yet what the Buffalo Bills are going to wind up doing before camp hits. I mean, look, at the end of the day, if we're going on, what's more likely to happen, more likely they will keep Palmer. However, there's still a percentage that says, well, they could cut him, right? They could. Never say never, right? Why? Absolutely, they could. Let's see here. Badass Elite could be applied to our player moves so far. We still have no picked one up yet. Maybe I missed, and that is why I'm still not overly impressed. Okay, so I understand in a way where you're coming from, but look, for as much as I talk about the salary cap, and there's always ways around it. If you really want a player, trust me, it doesn't matter how deep you are in the cap, right? There's ways around it, and every GM knows this, and they know how to work it. At least the good ones do. However, it is a real deal, and when you play that game, and you start maneuvering and pushing contracts on the road, and you eventually got to pay the piper, right? Eventually, you're gonna have a couple seasons where you're gonna have to do some real work and cut players you don't want to cut, right? To get under the cap, and you can't keep pushing contracts down the road. It's just, so with that being said, I feel what they've done so far with the cap situation and not having to move so many players, restructure so many players. Like, they didn't restructure Deion Dawkins, for instance. A lot of people, and including myself, thought they would. They haven't yet. Now, that doesn't mean they won't. There could be a player or a trade. Let's say they're still interested in Crosby. Just throwing this out there. Let's say they're interested in another player, right? A free agent that may be costly. It could happen. But right now, as we sit today, it hasn't. And, but anyways, back to that. The McGovern signing was key. Like, what wins in the NFL, right? The trenches, right? Offensive line, defensive line, like, whoever wins the trenches, you're probably going to win the game, right? If you can run block, pass protect, if you got yourself a top 5 offensive line, you're probably going to be one of the better offenses in the NFL. I'm just throwing that out there, right? And we have that. I believe we do. Even with Edwards gone now, I still believe we're top 5 offensive line. We're really good. We run block well. We pass protect well. What does that do? That opens up more holes for James Cook. That gives Josh Allen more time to throw. Right? All this is great. So bringing back McGovern was huge. And what we signed him for at 13 and a half, I believe it was, where he was probably going to get around 17 and a half to 18, maybe 19 out there on the market. We got him as a steal. DJ Moore trade for a second-round pick. By the way, a late second-round pick, right? Towards the tail end of the second round. Is a good deal. Is the contract maybe a little high? Maybe. But I don't give a shit. Because if he goes into this season and he does what I expect him to do, and I think he will do, then I don't give a shit about what he makes. Because once again, going back to the last 2 seasons, what has been really wrong with the offense? Our scoring is fine. We've been top 5 offense, right? And scoring and all that. But what's been the major issue when it comes to watching this offense? It's been, where's our go-to guy when we really need a play to be made? We haven't had it since Stephon Diggs, right? DJ Moore is a go-to guy. Look at his career. Even last season with Chicago, even though his numbers were slightly down, when they needed a play, ask anyone who's a Bears fan, look it up. Or if you know someone from Chicago that watches the Bears or hears Bears radio, when they needed a go-to play, they always went to DJ Moore, and he made that go-to play. He was the most reliable guy when they needed a play to be made. Why? Why didn't they go anywhere else? Because they knew DJ Moore was that dude. They knew they could count on him. What Buffalo Bills player over the last 2 seasons that you go on a play that needed to be made, when you're watching that game, you're going, okay, where's Josh going? Geez, I don't know. I have no fucking idea. Because, listen, I like these guys. I think Khalil Shakir is a really good player. But he hasn't been the go-to guy. I really like Deion Dawkins, but truth be told, he hasn't been the go-to guy. That can be said because when Josh Allen threw him a ball in the playoffs, he dropped the goddamn ball. Right? We need a go-to guy. And that's all I've been asking for. And that will be a true one. DJ Moore's a true one. That was a good trade. We got the guy in-house that's reliable. That's all I wanted. Okay? Then you go out and get Bradley Chubb. Now, some people hate it. He's kind of like the DJ Moore trade. Some people hate it. Some people love it. Some people are wait and see. All right? Me, I love it. If you look at Bradley Chubb, when hasn't been hurt, unlike Joey Bosa, his production has been there. Go back and look. When he went to the Dolphins, after he was hurt with Denver, right? They traded him to Miami right away. Healthy Bradley Chubb, 11.5 sacks. And, of course, dealt with an injury, but comes back, 8.5. His production has been there. It's can he stay healthy? And that's one thing, of course, we worry about. I get it. I'm with you. But if we're talking about strictly production, Bradley Chubb can bring that, and he can bring production to this Buffalo Bills defense. I like it. We didn't way overpay for Bradley Chubb. It's about right there on his market value. So it's not like this isn't a 1-year deal where we're like, oh, Bradley Chubb 1 year, $12 million. He's gone after the year. He's gone anyways. Like, you know what I mean? Like, this guy's here at least 2 years, right? There's probably a way to get out of it after 2. I'm okay with that, right? I'm okay with the signing. Then Chauncey Gardner-Johnson, a guy that we all know. Look, the guy's anywhere he's gone to, he's brung it. Does he have some, locker room stuff going on? Sure, sometimes. I don't care about that. I care about what you do on the field. Bring it on the field. And that's what I like, too, about this change from McDermott. The Chauncey Gardner signing, for me, says a lot. It says they're not just having these choir boys in the locker room anymore. There's a name I want to bring up, too. Christian Wilkins. Now, look, I get it. Him and Josh have the beef going on a little bit. Is it beef? Yeah, I don't think it's that. Listen, he's a playmaker when healthy. Once again, another guy. What's his production like when healthy? His production's damn good. You can't deny the production from a Christian Wilkins. And I don't give a shit about what he is off field or kissing guys' forehead. I don't care. I don't care. What I care about is what you can do on the football field. Can you make plays happen? He has shown to be that guy. When he's healthy, when he's on the field, he's dominant. Let's be real. If you can get that guy on a cheapy contract, why not? Sure, him and Josh will be just fine. Okay? And it wouldn't be the first time we've heard about players' problems on other teams that went somewhere and excelled. How about Richie Incognito? Richie had problems in Miami. We said, fuck that noise. Bring him on in. Richie Incognito is a beast. We'll worry about it when he gets here. And I kind of feel like that's the route they're or the trajectory they're going on, where it's not only just about what you do off that, what kind of person you are off the field. We want the greatest guys in the locker room. Character, like character's good. And there's nothing wrong with that. But I also want production on the football field, right? At the end of the day, it's what we want. It's what we care about. Come on, let's be real. None of us here are being like, well, look, man, Josh Palmer may not be a good player on the field, but have you seen what he did for charity last week? Like, nobody cares. Let's be real, right? I'm not going to sit here and talk about the greatness of Josh Palmer and what he does for Canada in the offseason. Did you see Josh Palmer Thanksgiving? He brung in 50 turkeys. Yeah, but what has he done on the goddamn football field? Well, yeah, he's done much. Tommy, if you win the Super Bowl this year, are you still getting a McDermott? No. That bet has long gone. However, my new bet, and this is for the Beane haters out there, I will put, and not even Beane haters, I'm just going to do it. I'm going to put Believe in Beane Island tattoo when the Bills win a Super Bowl. Yeah, absolutely I will. It'd be a great tattoo. And I'll dude, if we win and Beane's GM a Super Bowl, I will be flaunting that tattoo every goddamn podcast. It's all the Beane haters out there. Sandra, Tommy, I'll help you with the chat so you won't get behind. Jesus, am I really behind? Oh no! If you beat my Bills and you hurt my pride, I gotta be a fan. I can't let it slide. Be careful. Weston is about to put his floaties on and swim off the island. No, man. Weston. Look, Weston's a Chiefs fan, but he knows the deal. He knows the deal, man. Believe in Beane Island is the place to be right now. I am the president, by the way. If y'all want to come on over to Believe in Beane Island, let me know. I'll gladly accept you, and you guys come over and party with us, man. Suddenly, I have to leave your island. The Chuck reviewer, I hope this year the Bills carry a third quarterback on the active roster, with the third being a rookie, because I do not have any faith in Kyle Allen, maybe Tylen Green. I'm with you. Like, I mean, he did okay, I guess, with Detroit, they said. I'm not following Kyle Allen's career, right? since he's left the Buffalo Bills. Hopefully we don't need a backup quarterback, period. But I am with you on getting a rookie quarterback at some point. Like, at some point, you should draft a quarterback at some point. You don't need, I'm not talking about early, I'm talking about 6th, 7th round. Like, for me, it's the safer bet. They're not going to start, but they're going to learn while they're here. You're not going to overpay them, right? Not that we overpay our backups anyway, and I'm okay with that. I listen, when I look at teams around the NFL and they're paying $8 million, $10 million, $12 million for a backup quarterback, that's insanity. Something is wrong, right? That something is definitely wrong if you're paying that much for a backup quarterback. I'm sorry. If you got your quarterback and he's a franchise quarterback and a damn good one, I don't think you should overpay for a backup quarterback. There's no need, especially if you have a quarterback that's been healthy, right? And knock on wood for Josh, he's been healthy, right? Like he's a tough son of a bitch. Like, so I'm not really too concerned about the backup quarterback, but in time they're going to need to address that for sure. I saw McDermott snooping around the island trying to. He is not welcome on this island to gauge the culture. He just wanted to make sure you were doing things the right way. Yo, that is great. That is funny as shit, man. Yeah, I can definitely see McDermott. Like if McDermott was like an analyst, right? and he was talking about believing Beane Island, he'd be like, well, geez. Tommy's over there. Is he a good character? I don't know if he's good for the island. That could be a bad move for Beane Island over there. Oh my God. Kyle Allen sucks. Allen goes from we're fucked. At least Trubisky. Listen, if Allen goes down, I don't care who you got in here. You know, you'd have to have an unbelievable quarterback to take us anywhere. I mean, and that goes for a lot of teams, guys. Let's be real here, right? And we're talking about going down. What are you talking about for the season? If you have a franchise quarterback, your team is kind of toast. Like that's just the reality of it. I mean, look at every year that it's very rare that a team goes to a Super Bowl, wins Super Bowl with a backup quarterback. I'm not saying it can't happen. Clearly, it has. Right? Happened against us. Hostetler won the damn Super Bowl with the Giants. Carson Wentz went down, and I forget the other guy's name. He came in, and Nick Folk, right? Was it Folk? Is that his name? Came in and won a Super Bowl for them. So yeah, it's happened before, but it doesn't happen much. It doesn't happen much. Usually, your starting quarterback goes down for the year. Your team's kind of toast from that point. So. Look, Mitch Trubisky, let's say he's our quarterback, and God forbid Allen went out for a year. Dude, what's Trubisky going to really do? Win us 7 games? Wow. Like, I'd rather win 2 with Kyle Allen and get a better draft pick. You know what I'm saying? You get where I'm coming from, right? Like, at that point, just stack the L's and give me a good draft pick. Give me in the top 5, baby. Right? I don't need to have an 7-8 win year, not make the playoffs, and get like a top 20 pick, or yeah, I'm good with that. But I'm with you on the drafting the quarterback later on. The players win games. Example: Marv Levy and Bill Pullen. They were the best of their era. Our players lost 4 straight Super Bowls. Players have to execute what they are coach. Yeah, I mean, I agree with that too, and you made a great point. But once again, we're talking about Marv Levy, his coaching staff, player development, right? When you have that, right, you're going to probably go a long way. When you don't have that, right, when you have a bad coaching staff or maybe just the head coach is just not the guy, you could have an excellent GM. And it's, of course, you know what's going to happen? Fans are going to go, oh, what a bad pick. Oh, I can't believe it. Look at the Cleveland Browns. Like I said, I go back in time with Cleveland Browns. They're still looking for a quarterback. They had one. Baker fucking Mayfield. They had one. Right? But then fans sort of like, oh, man, it must be Baker Mayfield. He's not the guy. Get rid of him. Right? It can't be. Could it be the coaches? No. It must be the player. Listen, it makes a huge difference. That's what I'm saying. So, like, when I look at everything as a whole, right? You can't just judge one thing off one particular stat or data. But you're right. Coaching absolutely makes a difference. Listen, it all does. That's why there's only one team that wins the Super Bowl at the end of the year. So much has to go right. Right? I don't think many of you guys understand that. Like, some of you do. But a lot has to go right to win a Super Bowl. A lot. Right? Like everything, injuries and the coaching with the GM, and are they synced up? Are they linked up? Are they playing tug of war with the draft picks and free agency? It's probably not going to work. But still, it still takes a lot to make it to win a Super Bowl. It does. Everybody has to play their part. Everybody, special teams, the kicker, the punter, field position, right? Like the punter makes a difference on field position. The kicker makes a difference. Maybe he misses an extra point. That's a key miss that cost him the game later on in that Super Bowl. Like, everything has to go right. Right? And sometimes, you know, for certain teams, man, everything can look great. Like I said, on paper, they signed the best free agents. They had a great draft, and yet they can't put it together. It doesn't go onto the field. Right? All that greatness on paper sometimes just doesn't work for whatever reason. Right? And then you got to go back as a fan on that team and go, damn, what the fuck? Going into this year, we had this fucking great team. I gave the free agency an A. I gave the draft an A. What happened? Well, what happened? You got to evaluate. What the fuck happened? Was it poor coaching? Right? There's always something more to it than just these players suck. Boo. He's a bust. He must be a bust. Oh my God. Chat, the Bills training back or will eventually or will actually select what they're that is Scott, that's a great question too. I think they trade back, but for me, it's about will a player slip in the draft, and if the Bills are in love with that player that they didn't really see sliding to potentially get him, then I can see the Bills trading back. I'm not crazy, guys. I'm going to tell you, I'm not crazy about this year's draft. I'm just not. I think there's some good players. But I'm not like overly excited about the players coming out this year. I mean, I still haven't really dived super, super deep, but so far from what I've seen in the categories, the positions that I've looked at, I'm not overly thrilled or excited about the talent coming out in this year's draft. I'm not. There's good players. Could they potentially be great? Sure. Depends on their development, right? Depending on what team they go to. But I don't see greatness in this draft where it's deep, right? I think no matter what, the Bills do select a player or move back. Fans are not going to be happy with it. Yeah, and I'm with you, Spin. They're not. Listen, it's almost impossible these days to please fans. It just is. I'm with you. Like, there's always going to be that tug of war with fans, and it's just not us. I want you guys to know that it's just not Bills Mafia who's like this. I live in Detroit. I listen to the radio stations out here, the sports radio stations. Callers call in and then they complain, and some callers call in and they disagree with the last caller. The radio guys disagreeing with the caller. There's so many different opinions and what fans love and hate and or what they see the teams, what they're going to be like, this upcoming season. You got Lions fans thinking they're going to be terrible. And then you got some Lions fans saying, shut the fuck up. We got all this talent. We're good to go. It's how it is, man. It's how it's impossible to please every fan. It's just, I've been doing this long enough to know it's impossible. It truly is. You know what I mean? I may love a draft pick, and Mikey would be like, "Oh, fucking hate it," right? Or the opposite, right? Fucking hate it. I love it, right? I was like, okay, we'll see, right? You know what I mean? He wasn't really necessarily behind the Osiris Torrance. When I said Osiris Torrance should be drafted by the Bills, I wanted him to be, and thank God they did. But Mikey was like, he doesn't fit the scheme. I don't want, and him, it was more about scheme, not so much about the player. But I saw Osiris Torrance film. I studied him enough to go, man, that guy has a high ceiling. It doesn't matter. Yeah, his pass protection isn't where you want it to be now, but can it get there? Yeah, I believe it can. I do. Everything I saw in him, he's gotten better throughout the years in college, right? Why couldn't you get him to be that guy, to be a well-rounded guard in the NFL? He's already a great run blocker, right? Why can't he be a better basketball? Of course he can be. Get the right offensive line coach, to get him where he needs to be in his career. And I believe he's a player that has that ability to get there. Some may disagree, and that's okay, but I believe it's there. Thinneman is available, must draft for me other than him. Going back to for second and third. Yeah, I mean, I like to usually wait till free agency kind of just is totally done with before I kind of go, okay, what do the Bills really need, right? Like, what's the biggest need right now going into the draft after free agency is totally done with, right? Nose tackle, right? We really desperately need one, right? A one tech would be damn nice if they can get one. I still feel like linebacker. I'm not totally sold on Dorian Williams as starting linebacker. I'm sorry, I'm not. So could they be in play for a linebacker? Sure. I'm also thinking they still could draft a wide receiver in this draft. I still think they will. And there's some guys that I feel that could do good in Buffalo. Once again, time will tell. Studs can mask poor coaching for sure. Yeah, absolutely. Look at the flag football game. NFL pros don't know that game. It could not be coached to win it. Yeah, I agree. It's a totally different game. It's totally different. I think the NFL players were like, "What the fuck," right? Because they're not used to playing that style of football. But you bring those guys into an NFL football style game, right? They're gonna get fucking hurt. they're gonna get worked, right? Trust me, they will. Those guys won't make it through a game. I promise you. The physicality alone will get those guys on the sideline broken. All right? And that's the reality of it. I mean, and that kind of goes for like boxing and MMA, right? They're two different things, right? It just is. Like one can't compete in the other for the most part. So it's probably not going to go good. Let's see here. Contact sport versus non-contact. Exactly. Exactly. Tommy, you're an out. No fucking way. Am I really? Holy shit, guys. All right, let me. All right, so here's what I'm going to do. Yeah. You guys know. Look, you guys know I am very picky about that. I love to get to all the chats. So what I'm going to do a speed run right now. And I'm going to go through all your chats, and then we're going to get caught up. All right, here we go. Robert, Josh Allen is the main reason McDermott and Beane has lasted with the Bills this long. Yeah, I can kind of get behind that. For as much as I like Beane, I don't know if Beane's still here if Allen isn't here, and the Bills will probably be a non-playoff team. And yeah, you're probably right on that one. Tommy, how we doing, brother? What up, J Ham? I'm apparently I'm an hour and a half behind the chat, so I'm gonna get caught up here. Tommy, you need to work together to change Steve Lynn's mindset. Steve Lynn is not. Listen, now I'd be surprised if that dude ever watches my channel again. We are just so far apart in our thinking. And I don't know the guy personally. I'm not going to bad talk the guy. Like I said, once again, I don't know him on that level. I only know that we are so far apart, and just our mindset of this team, and just how to talk to people the right way. And I just don't. I don't agree with it. Okay, I'll leave it at that. It is what it is. But no, he probably is not a fan of me, and it is what it is, bro. How we feeling, Keys? Tapping in, Tommy. What's good, my guy? What up, Renaissance man? How you been, brother? Apparently, I'm way behind in the chat. So, to be fair, other than Myles Garrett, who does well in Cleveland, exactly. Yeah, but we can go to the Jets, the Dolphins. Like, there's so many teams that they just don't have the right coaching staff, or they're cycling through coaches every couple years, and it's just a dumpster fire. And when you go there, a lot of these players, they just don't get the proper coaching, right? And you know what's scary? Some of these players are probably good there, and maybe they could be great somewhere else if they had proper coaching that could develop them into a better version of themselves. So there's that too. Right. Anyways, to be fair, sort of that. Tommy, to me, outside the defense, backfield, Bill struggled at player development. Yeah, and I blame that on a lot of that has to do with McDermott. I mean, it does. Coleman's lack of effort is a problem. I'm kind of with that too, and that kind of to me that goes with maturity as well. You know, the effort is part of that maturity. Like, he needs to understand. This isn't high school. This isn't college. You're in the pros. You're getting paid good money, even if it's on a rookie contract. And your teammates are you have teammates that depend on you. You can't just give up on plays because you're unhappy about your route or how the coach is using you on the field. Like, you can worry about that shit later in your career, or ask for a trade. Like, I'm always been about that. Like, and it's okay. Like, if you are a football player, you go on a team and you don't like where you're at, you don't see a good outcome, you feel like coaching staff has done you wrong, they're hurting your career, ask for a trade. You're going to get some people that hate you for it. Who cares? It's at the end of the day, you got to look out for you, and you got to do what's best for you, right? And if it's not working, it's not working. Move on. Ask to get out, right? And that's how I see it, right? But don't sulk. Don't be late. Don't show up. Don't be late to meetings or not show up to meetings. Don't give up on your teammates when you're playing in a game. Like, all that stuff is just immature, right? And that's how I see it. Anyways, back to that. True slot chance for Keon this year, but I'm up to the organization to put him in position for success. Cold front, I'm with you. And then for me, I'm on that on the same thing. On that same side. Like, for me, this is it, Coleman. Like, you have one opportunity here. Seems like the Brady is vouching for you. Now let's see if you can prove people wrong and also make Brady look good at the same time, and going, okay, this guy trusting in me, and look what I can do, right? Like. But if he doesn't, and he's late for meetings and all this stuff that we heard from last year, then unfortunately, it's just not going to work for Keon Coleman, at least not here in Buffalo. That could be understandable with Coleman if Brady wasn't here anymore, but still, so what will Coleman do differently now? Listen, Edward, I kind of understand where you're coming from, and that was my worry, or that was my problem with Brady as OC over the last 2.5 years. He struggled with understanding player strengths and weaknesses, right? He didn't put them in, and I feel he didn't put them in position to be a better version of themselves on the field, right? And that's what I mean about Coleman not really, I don't feel like they did that well for him, right? You know, the route trees were not really what he does best, right? Like, so I don't feel, and I kind of feel that way for every player that was on this roster in the wide receiver room. I don't feel like Brady did a good enough job to understand what he had in the room and use them to the best of their ability to make them successful for the offense. Now, with that being said, he's the head coach now. We have an offensive coordinator here, Carmichael, who maybe can help him with that, right? That's why having a good coaching staff is very important. Now, Brady will still be calling the plays, but you do have a guy in the building now who maybe can understand what he has in the room and correct the mistakes that Brady made over the last 2 years with these players. That's what I'm hoping on. But I'm with you. Like I'm with you when it comes to Brady on that. Like that does worry me. But once again, the coaching staff is what is making me feel a lot better heading into the 2026 season. I love the coaching staff. Like I absolutely love it. Probably one of the best we've had since really, God, a long time. I don't know. Like I love Brian Dable. I did. But I would say that was I would say Leslie Frazier, Brian Dable, that's up there. I would say this one's up there. The only difference is we have a lot of young, innovative, a lot of youth now in the coaching that's bringing that new mindset to the team as well. And we have some veterans sprinkled in the coaching staff as well, right? Carmichael, John Fox, who I feel is such an underrated coaching signing. I love it. I just do. It's probably one of my favorite coaching staff to date. All right, I got to get with the chat. Apparently, I'm super behind. I guess I'll leave this for your watch back. Beane Island. It's Beane Island. I love Beane Island. Come on. Thinking about trading way down out of the first round for a fourth and sixth, and then just about using every pick. So many holes still have free agency, but money is strapped even after Josh and they didn't crazy. They didn't restructure Deion Dawkins. Just a heads up. Josh, they did, but Deion has not been restructured. They may not. I think they will if there's a trade to be made that they just have to have this player, or possibly free agents still sitting out there. They're like, damn, we just what, fuck it, right? Let's restructure Deion. We feel like this move could potentially get us to a super. You know what I mean? Like, then I can see it happening. But as of now, Deion has not been restructured. And if they trade a first, they're probably going to get a second, right? So I know they will. So we'll move up back to the second round. We'll have our second round draft pick back. You get what I'm saying? So that's where I see it. Anyways, let me get to the chat. I promise, chat, I get back. Go cold front. I honestly put DJ Moore in elite status. It all depends on what you define elite as. I say Moore is elite, even if you don't. You certainly can't say he's less than 1A type status. I don't know if I put him up there as elite, because then there's alpha receivers. Like when we talk about quarterbacks, I'm a little bit picky about when we have these tiers. Like Mikey likes to call them tiers. You got for me, there's only like you got tier 1, which is Josh Allen, Patrick Mahomes, what's his name? Lamar Jackson. Then you got tier 2, right? Joe Burrow. And Joe Burrow he's floating on tier 1. He could be there. Just the injuries is why I'm kind of putting him on that tier 2, right? Matt Stafford, right? Like there's guys that aren't in the tier 3. So I wouldn't put DJ Moore on that elite. Justin Jefferson, Jamar Chase. There's only a few of those guys that I would put on elite status, right? That they've been so damn good, not good, so damn great. And I'm not going to go there with DJ Moore. However, he is a damn good quality number 1, well-rounded receiver that's put in work. Numbers prove it. I'm good with it. I am, and I believe this guy will bring exactly what we've been missing, and that is a reliable go-to guy that Josh has not had since Stephon Diggs has left the building. That's how I see it, and that's all I wanted. That's all I wanted. If we could have got an alpha, great, but they don't come easy like that. That's why the status, that tier 1 is just like a quarterback, right? There's only so many Josh Allens, Lamar, right? Patrick Mahomes out there. That's it. There's not. That's why there's only 3. All right. Same goes with receivers. Same goes with running back. Every category, there's an elite status. And only a few, for me, how I look at it, are on that list of elite alpha status. Being good is not being elite. Just saying. No, I'm with you. I'm not calling him elite. I think he's a very good wide receiver. I feel his numbers have proven that. I feel what he's done with 10 different quarterbacks. I already went through it. 10 different quarterbacks. 7 different coaches, 5 different OCs, something wild like that, right? 7 offensive coordinators, 5 head coaches, and 10 starting quarterbacks throughout his career. And his career, it's not like this guy's been in the NFL 20 years, guys. Right? So, he's been in the NFL since 2018. Okay? And that's what he's worked with since he's gotten here in the NFL. That's wild. That, to me, tells me, with his numbers and what he's done, makes him a very good wide receiver. A quality number 1. Now, I don't think he's elite. All right. So true, though. 3rd and 8. Yeah, man. I mean, where was our guys on these go-to plays? Colford, I agree. I think he's good, but does not scare other teams. We need a wide receiver that seriously scares other teams. One of the open up more to be elite, if you get what I mean. I understand what you're saying, Badass, by the way, about that. However, I kind of disagree a little bit. If you are a true one, and I believe he is, okay, he's not borderline one. He's proven throughout his career that he's a quality number 1, right? Defenses will respect you, right? Defenses, that's one thing they haven't really respected our wide receivers, right? And I'm okay with, I get it. I get why they haven't, because there hasn't been that guy that they look at and go, damn, that guy, you go watch out for that guy. All right, this isn't a one-trick pony. This guy has experience. This guy's done very well throughout his career, and he's worked with all these. Trust me when I tell you, defensive coordinators aren't going to just go into a game against Buffalo when they see DJ Moore and go, damn, you know what? We'll be all right. Like, he is a guy that they need to be concerned about. So I kind of disagree with you a little bit on there. Scary, once again, that's to the elite. That's the elite status. And getting an elite receiver, an elite player in general, is not easy. All right? Look around the NFL. Go around the NFL. Every team. And tell me the elite player they have. Elite. It's not many. I promise you. There's not. 32 teams. How many elite quarterbacks are there? I think 3. That's it. 3 out of 32. How many elite receivers are there? Really? Elite. I'm talking game fucking wreckers. How many? But how many are really, really good? There's quite a few. Quite a few. Right? When we talk about edge, how many elite edges out there? I'm talking about game motherfucking wreckers. Not many. Right? Not many. But how many good ones are there? There's quite a few. So, but do offensive line, when you go against these really good edge rushers, do offensive line go, you don't need to worry about that guy? Of course not. Of course they're going to worry about that guy. He's still damn good. He's still one of the better edges out there. He may not be elite. He may not be Myles Garrett, but that doesn't mean you don't have to game plan for him. So that's how I feel about that. I love the Chubb move. Beane gets a point from me on that one. Oh, there you go. There you go. Yep. Wilkins would be great. Bill's practices would be fun. Yeah. Listen. The only thing that's holding, and supposedly 26 teams. Adam Schefter reported 26 teams, or at least from Wilkins' camp, reported that 26 teams have reached out to Christian Wilkins. So apparently, teams are calling about him, and they should. The problem is right now he's still rehabbing from the foot injury. So I think that right now is what the holdup is. I would be shocked if he doesn't get signed if he's healthy. Like if that is true, and these teams have contacted him, 26 supposedly. There's interest. There is interest there. And more than likely what's going to probably happen in his case is because of the injury and the rehab and coming back, and he hasn't played a game since 2024, right? So there's going to be rust there. And then also the locker room stuff, a little weird stuff going, whatever's going on. He's in the Richie Incognito, area where he's going to have to probably take a cheaper deal than he's worth to get back to that status of, hey, he's still that guy. He's still a really good player. He's worth it, even if he's a little weird or whatever. But look what he's doing. The production is at all-time high, right? Or is what it is when he was playing for the Dolphins, right? And then he probably gets a bigger contract down the road. But more than likely, he probably takes a 2-year deal somewhere, or even a 1-year prove-it deal. If everything goes right, then maybe he gets the extension, or some way after the season, or maybe in the middle of the season, maybe. But that's where I kind of see him going, happening. But who knows? Richie was a beast. Don't care what he said. He was playing. Richie Incognito was the man. And it's funny. Richie Incognito was actually before Miami in LA. Remember, he had 2 stops here in Buffalo, guys. If you remember. In LA, he had a bad rap. In LA, people around the league hated Richie Incognito. People that weren't on his team hated Richie Incognito because he talked shit. He was not dirty player, but probably a little bit rougher after the whistle. You know what I mean? Maybe a little Gnagnomic Sue in him, right? Right? So he got that reputation, but he came to Buffalo and he was great. I don't care I don't care about that shit. What can he do on the field? Can he protect our quarterback? Can he run block well? Right? And he did that. And then he went to Miami, had that fallout, whatever. By the way, that all got cleared and that was all bullshit. But came to us and he was great. And then, of course, he had another little meltdown in his offseason. But I don't care about the stuff. What I care about is what you do on the field. When Richie Incognito was here, he was nothing but great. He did nothing wrong for this team, right? He put everything out there on the field. Deion Dawkins talks about him still as being one of the best guys next to him that he could learn from. Like, Richie was a beast, bro. I'm interested in watching Groot and Chubb standing up. Yeah, absolutely. This new scheme is man, I can't wait for it. I don't care about your charity stuff. Virtual signaling. I don't know what that means. Yep. No, we are fucked no matter. Yeah, and he sucked. I don't know where this is going. Maybe you guys are talking about for Joe Montana. Sorry. I think you guys are having okay. Oh, Tommy, could you imagine how many times Beane would trade down if you had the number 1 pick? No, because we've never been in that. Like, so when we talk about our drafts, guys, let's be real here. We only had twice where we were in the top 10. Outside of that, we've been near the bottom of every round because we're a winning football team. Now, it's not winning because we haven't won a Super Bowl winning, right? But record-wise, that's how it goes. So I don't believe that's true. If Beane had a top 10, even a top 10 pick, I believe, yeah, he's gonna take a player there. He hasn't had many opportunities to take a player in the top 10. So I don't see why he would, trade back, right? Just because of that, right? Just hasn't had the opportunity to draft a top 10 player in quite some time since Ed Oliver. So wide right was Mar's fault. Norwood never made a kick that long. Run more play and get 5 more. Yeah. So once again, though, that game should have never came down to a kick either, right? If we're gonna, that's what I'm talking about when I look at things, the bigger picture, right? Go back in that Super Bowl. That was the one Super Bowl we were favored. That was the one Super Bowl where we should have won. I think the players, from what I heard, had themselves a nice night on the town over there, and were partying probably a little bit too hard, taking this game for granted, thinking they had this one with a backup quarterback in Hostetler. Being how, what they did in the regular season, how dominant the Bills were. I think they just overlooked the Giants a little bit there. But that game should have never came down to a kick. Like, let's be real. The Bills should have won by probably 10 points. But that's what happens sometimes when you don't take things as serious as you should, or you overlook your opponent, and all of a sudden now you're in a dogfight. And that's what happened, right? I don't think they were expecting that. And before you know it, it's a close football game, right? And now you're down. So, yeah, I don't believe the game should have ever came down to that. But it did, and ultimately he missed it. But I'm with you there in that fact, too, that maybe, Marv should have understood his kicker a little bit better and got a couple more yards there on that play. But it is what it is, man. If I could go back in time, I would have Jerry Jones put one clause in Jimmy John's contract, and that would be Jimmy would have to shave his head and if you want a Super Bowl. Jimmy Johnson, they had problems, man. Him and Jerry, they could not coexist, right? Like they both had major egos, right? So great. Both, by the way, I have nothing but respect for Jerry Jones. He's done obviously multiple Super Bowls there, and same with Jimmy Johnson, who obviously coached my Hurricanes as well. So, two great individuals as far as what they did, but they just could not exist. They couldn't coexist. Let's see here. If you say I don't think they pick at 20, I'll just say I don't think they pick at 26. Yeah, so I'm with you, Keys. I'm with you. I don't think it's going to happen. The only way I see it happening, once again, is if a player falls, which happens all the time in every draft. There's a player or two that just kind of, for some reason, falls down, right? Then maybe I can see the Bills sticking or even potentially moving up if they love that player. Like, if that player is just like, damn, right? Like, we did not see this happening. Like, we have an opportunity to get a top, 10 player, let's say, right? Even top 15. Right? Let's say a top 15 player slips down and he's at, he's at 18 now or something like that. He's still not drafted. If Beane really, loves this player, they had him on the board, but going, the chances are very, very slim, but he's there. I can see the Bills potentially being aggressive and getting that player. But once again, it doesn't happen too much, but there's occurrences where there is a player that kind of slips in drafts. So we'll see. But yeah, more than likely they probably trade back. But Ted Washington level 3. Ted Washington. How many Ted Washingtons are out there? Emmanuel Prendergast guard out at Oregon. How many would poke their eyes out if he was taken at 26? I have to look at because we do need a guard. I have to also look at the nose tackles. And I'm still thinking linebacker. I understand that you guys think Dorian Williams is going to take that spot. I like Dorian Williams, but I'm not crazy about Dorian Williams. And I don't know if the coaching staff is crazy about Dorian Williams either, right? So we'll see. Tommy, what happened about not getting behind the chat? What? You know what? God damn it.
Oh, excuse me.
All right. Let me get caught up. Tommy, when McDermott finally reflects on his time in Buffalo, how do you think he feels about how he was treated in the end? He can't complain. He got 9 seasons, 9, and could not get the job done. Right? Listen, the ultimate goal when you're hired as a coach in any sport, doesn't matter, right? The ultimate goal is a championship. That's all that matters. It's not about record, about what you did in regular season. For me, Pagula actually extended his time, right? He treated him very well, right? I don't think that he was mistreated at all. 9 seasons is a lot when you haven't accomplished what you said you were going to accomplish, and that is a Super Bowl. So yeah, no, and if he does, oh fucking well. Problem with the draft, you don't have to sold on anything. Everything can be found deeper in the draft. I have zero idea where this is going this year, and I'm with you, Keys, right? And they've done well, actually, with drafting players late in the draft. So I'm with you. Like, I'm not saying they're not going to trade back. Like, it's a possibility. But you're right. And if you look at the history of the Bills drafts, a lot of the players that are starting today have come late in the draft or in the middle part of the draft. Like, you know what I mean? So I'm with you there. I'm okay with that. And yeah, you can find players. You can find players in the 6th round. You know, which we have. Christian Benford is a starting cornerback and a top 10 cornerback. I don't care what anyone says. He's a top 10 quarterback. Okay. And don't give me, oh, he's a top 10 quarterback because he fits McDermott's scheme. And if he went anywhere else, give a shit about that. Why do I care about that? That is the stupid. Listen, guys, if he's here and he's been a top 10 quarterback in that scheme, he's a top 10 quarterback. Don't tell me what he can do outside of somewhere else. Give a shit about what he can do. I don't care about that. I care about what has he done since he's been here. I'm a top 10 quarterback. Scheme or not scheme, I don't care. And of course, people are like, oh, well, it's a new scheme now. Can you? We'll find out. But I'm not going to already sit here and go, oh, man, he's not going to work out, man, because it's changing scheme. Time will tell. But as of now, as we sit here right fucking now, he's a top 10 cornerback. I cannot believe people are still fighting this. Because what? He's not a ball hawk that doesn't make him a top 10 cornerback. Trey White in his prime, all pro Trey, was never a ball hawk. Never. He's a good corner. He's a sticky corner. He knows how to make a play on the ball. Right? And that's what I mean about sticky, right? He's never been a man corner, a physical kind of corner. He just knows how to get back in the play and make a play on the ball. He's done that throughout his career. But he was a top 10 corner at one point because of that. Also, when we watch Christian Benford or any of these top corners, usually offenses don't go their way. And that is the case when it comes to Benford, right? Has he been beaten a few times? Sure. What corner hasn't? Right? But overall, dude's been really, really good. Exactly. There would have to be unforeseen drop. It's crazy. You should have. I like it. Yep. Me too. We'll make for a very interesting draft. Prepare unlike Connor. Understand if you have a Super Bowl, you always be rich in life. Too late for me. Talk soon, everyone. Good night, man. Good night, Cole Front. See ya. Man, good dude, man. I may have him on Friday night, by the way. Cole Front, good dude over there. He's probably coming on the show Friday. We'll see, but yeah, I'll have him as a guest on Friday. Tyler Bass needs to give that number 2 up. Tyler fucking Bass. I think he did, didn't he? I thought he did. Reed was 34. And by the way, numbers can change throughout, in camp or whatever. Chrissy, how you doing? Long time, no talk. How's everything going with you? He said he has only 1 winning. I hope they underestimate 1. Josh, they don't. 1. Maybe close race, but possible. I'm trying to get to all your chat, and then you are so behind. Fuck, am I really? I can see the Bills bringing back Von Miller as a 3rd down pass rusher. Maybe. I don't know if they're going to go back and get some of these former Bills players. I could be wrong. I'm not saying they won't. But, and you know, Vaughn didn't have a terrible season last year, but something tells me they're not going in that direction. And that's something McDermott would want, to be honest with you guys. That's a McDermott specialty, to go after former players that know the system. You know, he was very much into his veterans. And this is a totally new coaching staff, coaching, you know, the defensive scheme has changed. So I don't know if they would bring back Vaughn. You know what I mean? Like, I could be wrong, but I don't know if they're going to do that again. If they're going to get caught up in signing, you know, Jordan Phillips and, you know, Josh Normans of the world, like, you know, AJ Klein, like that was a McDermott specialty. And I don't know if the Bills do that again. Like, this free agency kind of tells me they're heading in a different direction as far as evaluating talent, right? Or what they see will fit in this system, right? And I don't know if they bring back Vaughn. I really don't. And I don't think they're going to bring back Trey. Like, I think those guys are gone. They're done, at least in Buffalo. By the way, I'm caught up, so I don't. This is it. This is the last chat. McDermott to be the next head coach at the U. Oh, don't fucking tell me that. He's not. They still got Mark Cristobal there. And Miami, listen, the Hurricanes are going to do the thing, man. The Hurricanes are they're getting back on track. Obviously, they were in the championship game. Sucks they didn't win it, but yeah, man, like it's funny how college works, man. Once you get back to winning, like, you know, a winning culture, winning, you know, getting to the playoffs, getting to a championship game, you're going to start getting these better. You're going to have better recruits coming, right? Right? You're going to have like, you know, quality guys coming to wanting to play for the Hurricanes, right? Also, too, they're paying for players now, a little bit different too. So, right, you got that whole thing as well, right? In Miami, private school, and a lot of big money donors, right? They have a lot of guys with a lot of money that pretty much pitch in to get these players on board. So Miami's on that path again of being one of those top teams in college football. Obviously, you saw it last year. Jacoby Lane, 4th round receiver, 6'4", runs 4.6, great hands. Yeah, I mean, you know, there's a couple receivers I like. Brazell is one of them out of Tennessee. Also a tall receiver, runs a 4.5 or 4.4. He has a high ceiling. You know, I think he needs a little bit of work, and that's what coaching does. But he's a player I'm intrigued with. Boston is another player that I'm intrigued with, though I don't think he has a high ceiling like Brazell. There was talks today that Casey Consumpcion, I believe is his name, I believe he came in for a visit. So that one is interesting. Let's see here. Let me see here. I'm pretty sure that was the news around today was that particular player that the Bills were bringing in for talks. I haven't heard much about anybody else. Yeah, Casey Consumpcion. So he had a draft visit as well. So he's an intriguing player. Runs a 4.4. He had a pretty good season at Texas A&M. I'm not totally sold on him, but I want to hate him here. But yeah, we'll see. The one thing Buffalo has kind of not done well is finding that over-the-top fast receiver. We thought maybe we had that last year with Elijah Moore, and it just didn't work out. And look, Elijah Moore I don't even know if he went anywhere after we cut him. So kind of shows you maybe that maybe he just wasn't that guy because nobody picked him up. Not that I'm aware of. And if they did, I don't think he did anything. So, Curtis Samuel, I believe, is still a free agent, right? So, like, who also ran a 4.3, 4.4. So, those guys necessarily didn't work out, but they were free agents. Like, we haven't really gone in the draft and got ourselves a, one of these fast receivers, right? We had an opportunity in the Coleman draft to get Worthy, and we traded down to get Coleman. Worthy could have been that guy. But there is still guys out here in this draft. I believe there's a guy that actually ran a 4.2, 4.27. I forget his name, but he's projected to go, I believe I saw fourth round. So they could get him late if that's what they're looking for. I do believe they'll still draft a receiver. There is some left in the free agency that I wouldn't hate coming here. I talked about D-Hop. I know you guys are like kind of, not really on board with that, but with his age, and obviously his stats, declining a little bit because of that. He's not the number one now on teams and all that. Spot track has him at about 1.4. I think he's probably going to get around 2.5 for a 1-year deal. For me, he's still one of the best sure-handed NFL receivers out there. The dude just can catch anything. Very reliable when the ball is thrown his way. He would be an absolute red zone threat for us. Like, he would be that guy that we can absolutely go to in the red zone. And on that type of deal, I wouldn't hate it. Like, I wouldn't look at it and go, we way overpaid. You know what I mean? Like that's a deal for me. You're bringing in a quality vet who I still think has a little bit of juice left in the tank that still could provide something, right? But ultimately, I do want the Bills to draft a receiver, and I think they will. So let's see here. I am caught up with the chat, by the way. I'm caught up all with the chat. And look at me, man. Look at me. You guys were killing me here. Let's see if maybe I can get to some of the stuff I was going to talk about tonight. So the mock draft, I guess we'll have to skip that for another day. Let's see here what I can get into. What did I have? It's not a lot here. I already went to the DJ Moore stuff. Yeah, that's pretty much it. We can go through some of the spot track. Oh man, hold on. I had it up and I got rid of it. An idiot. All right. Here we go. I clicked it off. I got this new mouse, man. It's driving me insane, man. It's like I like it and I don't like it. It's like one of those things, man. It's like a love-hate relationship right now with me and this me and this mouse that I got here. It was like a combination keyboard mouse thing I got on Amazon, and yeah, it's been a little bit little weird, man. I definitely got to get used to this. All right, so here's spot track, and hopefully this mouse doesn't mess me up because it was doing this the other night, and I'm like, what the fuck? The Bills need to draft a fullback. There's 200 now. They could get and maybe they find one late in the draft, or they don't necessarily need to draft one. They can get a UDFA in here as well. You know what I mean? So don't get too tied up in that position. Though I'm with you, they probably do need a fullback. It would be good to have one. It's not my number one need, right, or concern going into this draft, right? Oh God, we have to have a fullback. And I think they're going to be. Listen, there's plenty of fullbacks in college. that you could find in, like I said, if you don't draft one, UDFA. So not overly concerned. Okay, so position. So we're talking about, let's go to receiver, right? These are available at market value currently, right? So here we go. So you got players that are still available right now. You got Juwan Jennings still out there, still unsigned. Now, could he be overpricing himself? Some of these players, it's possible. It's very possible that Jennings is overpricing himself. Deebo Samuel, here's another guy. I would not pay $15 million a season for. I've heard 2-year $30 million for Deebo. I simply wouldn't. I wouldn't do it. And I don't hate Deebo Samuel, by the way, guys. I want you to know this. Like, I think Deebo would actually fit in this offense really good for what he does. If he could stay healthy, that is. But with that being said, Deebo Samuel has only cracked 1,000 yards once, I believe. He had 1,400 1 year. Outside of that, he's not even come close, I don't believe, to cracking 1,000. So consistency has just not been there for him. He's averaged probably about 700 through his career, I believe, which is fine, but not at 15 a year, right? Like, I'm not trying to get caught up in another Palmer situation, right? Though I still think he would be better than Palmer. He would provide more, but I'm not paying that. You know what I mean? Like, I don't think, I would be shocked if another team pays him a 2-year $30 million. I don't see it. Tyreek Hill, he's at 15, right? Market value. He's coming off a nasty injury. He's a hell of a player, but he's also aging. He's 32, right? You got that plays a factor. And the injury, a major injury. At 15, once again, and then you got to factor in the off-field stuff that he's dealing with, right? That he's constantly dealing with. Is it worth it, right, on a player like that? Once again, I'm not saying you have to have all choir boys, because you don't. Like I talked about that earlier, but you gotta combine everything with the market value and what he's asking for, and ask yourself, is this player worth it? Can he actually provide what he provided early on in Miami and in Kansas City? If he can, who gives a fuck about what his off-field shit, as long as he doesn't get suspended, right? But it's a question mark. Those are all question marks. Those are all red flags, right? Because he's always getting into something. There's always something happening with Tyreek Hill. It's not like a one-time thing with him, right? He's also 32. You can't defeat Father Time. And he's also coming off a serious injury. You gotta, GMs aren't dumb. They're going to factor all that in, right? And so will he get signed? Probably. At that price, I don't know. Do we lose a home game if we play an international game? I don't think we have an international game this season, by the way. A matter of fact, I believe they already said that we don't. So, no, we're good. We're good this year. Okay, Stephon Diggs at 13. Once again, a player who's 32. He has off-field stuff going on. You don't even know if he's going to get suspended this year coming up. He's still productive, but I wouldn't say his production is as high as it once was. He's at the tail end of his prime. I feel that's a little bit too much for what's going on with him. I wouldn't feel comfortable at that value. Keenan Allen, 6.8. Once again, this guy is at the tail end of his prime, aging. He's 33, almost 34. Injuries have also, bothered him or hurt his career a little bit as well. Hell of a player when not injured, but you got to factor in age, you got to factor in injury history, and you got to factor in what he's asking. And I just couldn't. I'd rather draft a receiver. You know what I mean? Like, for that price, I don't. It's not worth it to me. Steeler Shepard, no for me. I'm just not a fan. Tim Patrick, not really a fan. Brandon Cooks, guys, look, I like the signing last year because we needed something. We needed some type of spark. But the dude's hands are just not good. He doesn't have good hands. Going back in his career, he's had some crucial drops. And it sucks because the guy finds him a way to get open. The guy actually gets up and makes a play on the ball, but he has a tough time coming down with the ball. We know this. We know this too well. And I don't know if I want a guy back that has the case of the drops, right? Like we've gone through this before, and I want guys that are sure-handed. You know what I mean? I don't want to bring guys that are unreliable when it comes to that, right? Because let's say D-Hop was involved in that play. D-Hop comes down with that ball, guys. D-Hop's not giving that ball away, right? That's a first down. We win the game there, right? Against Denver. So, and it wasn't just about that play. Brandon Cooks had several drops since joining the Bills. And I'm good. Like I'm good. I appreciate what he did here, but I'm not re-signing him. Especially for that. I wouldn't re-sign him. Obviously, Curtis Samuel, no. Juju, no. I mean, Juju's gonna get signed somewhere, but I've seen enough of Juju throughout his career. Don't want him back. Now here's D-Hop, 1.4. I think D-Hop, they're probably giving him a little bit low there because of his age. He's almost 34. 1.4. I think he gets about 2.5. I still think that's worth it. I still think he can provide something for a football team. And trust me when I tell you, somebody will pick him up. He still has something in the tank. And that's it. That's it for that. For the receivers. But yeah, man. So guys, I appreciate you guys, man. I've been on here 2 hours. I went solo tonight. Mikey's internet was down. I think a lot of you guys departed the podcast because I was behind a little bit in the chat, but that's how it goes when you're solo. So yeah, I appreciate you guys, man. I appreciate you guys rocking with me. I'll be back Friday Night Lights at 8 p.m. I may have a guest on Friday. Just a heads up. So if you don't know, Cold Front, new channel, guys doing good things over there. So I may have him on the show on Friday. We're still talking about that. So we'll see how that goes. But and by the way, his name's Dustin. So, shout out to Dustin for watching tonight as well. So I may have Dustin on from Cold Front on Friday. So look for that as well. If not, it'll just be me again, solo on Friday night at 8 p.m. So also too, Sunday at 1 p.m., we are going to episode number 3 of the Down and Drought series. If you guys don't know, now you know. I've been covering the drought years. We are on episode 3 coming up, which will cover the 2002 Buffalo Bills, which is interesting. That's when we got Drew Bledsoe here in Buffalo. So yeah, tune into that. That's at 1 p.m. on Sunday, episode 3. So once again, guys, I appreciate you guys rocking with me. Bills Mafia, you know I love you. And as always, go Bills. I'm out of here. Peace.
Don't forget, when you're NWO, you're NWO for life. Too sweet.